Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want, and today we're going to be going through more fat acceptance cringe compilations. So today we're just going to be cringing our way to victory, and yeah, that's about it, so let's just get into it.
Hey, well, that's interesting. You know why?
Why?
Because
You post about body positivity, but you don't like yourself. One thing that I do have to state is I think body positivity and trying to be overly positive about these kinds of things, like your body, is born of a dislike for yourself. The entire concept of like self-love and like the development of like loving yourself or learning to love yourself is because you already do not like yourself very much. And I think it's the same thing with body positivity. So I actually kind of agree with this, but the comment is a little bit brash and not as in-depth, I guess, as the way I would think to explain it. And I think the running away kind of insinuates that there is a level of admittance to it. I could be wrong, I could be misinterpreting it, but I think this individual does kind of feel like, yeah, they don't like themselves, but that's just my perception.
that's interesting. You know why?
Why?
Because
TikTok, just in case you're wondering what a bikini body looks like, this is fucking it. And fuck anybody who doesn't think so.
I can't see the coloration of that bikini, but I would say it's probably like green or black. I have to say, those are two of my favorite colors. But in general, I do have to say, the concept of a bikini body and like things to do with your body and stuff like that, like anybody can have a bikini body if they put a bikini on. So, you know, whatever, but you do you. I don't really feel like anybody needs to not be confident in their skin. I just hope people endeavor to be healthy when it comes to being confident in your skin. The sexiest thing you can be, in my personal opinion, and I'll say this until the cows come home, health is the sexiest thing you can possibly have when it comes to your body.
If you are not from Britain, what this is called, it's like very traditionally English. I'm hoping it.
I'm guessing it's a vanilla slice. I'm pretty sure I've heard that this is called a vanilla slice, am I right?
A custard slice is English, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's English. And it's basically, it looks like that, and you've got like icing with like a wafer and then custard and then a wafer underneath. Now, it's the most gorgeous thing to eat ever. But I want to know whether anyone has figured out how the heck you eat it. Because, watch. Now, even if I had a knife with this, all the custard seems to stick out at the end.
Okay, it's a technical flaw, I've got to admit, but it looks delicious. I love sugar. If I saw this and like this were in my mouth and I could eat dairy without like feeling like I'm gonna throw up, then I would be putting this in my mouth every 10 seconds. I'd probably be obese. But it'd be totally worth it because it would be delicious. Anyways, I think that you're supposed to just pick it up and eat it, but maybe I'm just delusional and like using my hands too much. In reality, you can like one bite it or something. I don't know. But either way, like you can always just pour more delicious sums of custard on it if you find it's a suboptimal quantity. I would say, though, that wafer makes a design flaw for the custard leaking out.
I'm like, well, if we do that, all of this comes out, and it's honestly impossible. Like, I know I should probably have a knife, but I want to know whether anyone's got any hacks.
If you had a serrated knife, maybe you could kind of like jig it down enough to kind of like get the contents to not spill all over the place, or just get a bucket of custard and dip that guy in there. I don't know, man, that's like my mental go-to is I would just have extra custard. Like if I make a pie, usually like if I make a pie or something like that, I always have an extra side of compote just in case if it needs more lube, you know, to go down, or coconut whipped cream. That stuff's delicious. If you've ever gone to Trader Joe's, there's a coconut whipped cream. It's like a dairy-free whipped cream that I really like. And whenever I'm really feeling frisky, a little bit of that, so good. I've never actually put it in my mouth directly, though. Usually I like to lick it off of things. But, oh my god, I made this, like, lemony jelly kind of custard thing. Kind of was just a compote. Got a little too coagulated. I want to get a, like, thing of that coconut whipped cream and put it on there, because I bet that would be amazing. Lemon and coconut go together like fish do to water. Like, it's seriously psychotically delicious, and if you haven't indulged yourself, play your hand at it because it's fantastic.
For eating a custard slice.
Y'all be big as fuck thinking y'all are chosen.
Tell me a big bitch stole your man without telling me a big bitch stole your man.
Personally, I think it's not great to be the second choice or whatever for a man. I think you should be more self-empowered than that. And also, if it's on the basis of, like, cheating, like, I don't know if it's, like, a cheating thing or just, like, oh, some guy, like, left some girl and then goes to you. But, like, if it's a cheating thing, then it's the most disrespectful means of appropriation to both of the ladies. Just saying. I don't know why, but I feel like it's kind of like not a confident view to have if it's like, check me out, I'm hot, I'm gonna steal all your guys. I don't know, man. Personally, I find it kind of cringe, but that's just my opinion.
Fat people deserve to take up space just as much as anybody else.
Okay, the comment says, I mean, TBH, it's not a healthy way to live, so why promote it? I mean, you can do what you want and be as unhealthy as you would like to be. Being fat isn't illegal, so do your thing, but it isn't a healthy way to live. If you are severely morbidly obese, it's just not healthy for you.
And there's a lot of things that are unhealthy that Netflix promotes that I don't see anyone else calling them out for. And also, you can be fat and healthy. That is...
Okay, one, don't know what the Netflix show or documentary or series that she's talking about is. And two, that's not really true. You can do healthy things as a fat person that will make you more healthy, like eating a healthy, more whole foods oriented diet, drinking water, you know, exercising, things like that. But those things will not maintain a fat body for an excessive sum of time. So you can be a fat person and start losing weight by doing these healthy things, and you might still be considered fat, but you will be super healthy in comparison to somebody who is the same weight as you and not doing those healthy things. Now, at the same time, though, to maintain a fat body, to maintain an overweight, obese, a morbidly obese body, does indicate that you have a nutritional issue going on. An excess of usually calories and hyper-processed food, and there's a certain body weight that you're gonna hit, you know, morbid obesity, where you are going to be at an increased risk of dying early and also suffering chronic issues like heart disease, pre-diabetes, and diabetes, as well as just joint issues. So, I mean, generally speaking, yes and no. It just depends on where the person is coming from. You can be a fat person and be significantly more healthy than what is expected, but if you maintain an overweight body weight while not doing things to improve your health, you will not be healthy as a fat person. I hope that makes some sense. Now, compared to somebody who is a normal weight eating a healthy diet, and you have a fat person eating a healthy diet, the normal weighted person will probably still have a longer lifespan, even if both bodies are doing healthy things. I'm just saying, but that's just my opinion. I don't know.
That's a thing. That's possible. So it's weird for people to always, like, zone in on they're fat, they're not healthy, why are we promoting this? You guys don't give a shit if you see somebody drinking. No one seems to say anything about these teenagers juuling, but yet you're gonna act like you give a shit about people's health when they're chubby. Who cares?
You know what? I can actually appreciate that. It is true. Like, I drink a lot. So, I mean, I'm not one to talk. But, like, you know, when it comes to being unhealthy and being, like, healthy, you have people at normal healthy body weights doing incredibly unhealthy things. Vaping, smoking, drinking alcohol, you know, in excess especially. Doing things that are not healthy. People involve themselves in narcotics. People also of normal weights eat very unhealthy diets. But that is not to say or justify on the other end somebody being morbidly obese and eating an unhealthy diet and that being justifiable. It's just based on the individualized perspective that people have. But the other thing is, this person sits here and says, who cares? It's true, who cares? And when this TikTok is posted, when somebody's talking to the camera to an audience of individuals, saying all of these things that this person's saying, it kind of shows that they care. So they care more in some instances than other people who just do not care. Saying that personally, I do care. I care if people are healthy or not. I care when people give, like, false truths. I care when people say, oh, you can be healthy at any size, or you can be healthy as a fat person if you're doing unhealthy things, you know, which is kind of implied when you're severely overweight. But I care when people lie, don't tell the truth, or appeal to being in denial or in a state of futility. Like, I care about that kind of stuff. So I'd be a liar if I said I didn't care, because I'm creating entire videos that break down the entire, like, you know, situation here, the entire, like, perspective that I have, but usually does point out a significant issue. And although I agree in some part with this person, I would like to say I think they care more than they let on to believe, or the entire concept of them saying, who cares, is more something they're trying to justify than actually like what they think, because I think they do care. I think a lot of us care when we say we don't care. I just think that's the case.
Who gives a fuck if you're fat or not? It's normal. The average size is 18, so it's not weird.
That's not a good thing, though. I'm so sorry I keep interrupting, but that's not a good thing that the average weight is overweight to obese. That isn't a healthy physical embodiment. And that's another concern is, you know, being healthy, just because there's a norm, a median, an average, does not mean it's healthy. If everybody's falling out of the scope of what's considered a healthy body weight, significantly so, to a point where it's obese to morbidly obese, that means that the average person is not a healthy person. And I think it's quite obvious that that's the case in the Western world. We have a very hyper-processed food system, we enable sedentary lifestyles way too simplistically, and we really don't have the foundations for a healthy diet, especially on the basis of government recommendations not being impaired by, like, you know, massive corporations that want to make money off of you and make money off of you buying their products.
Weird to say that I wish there was more representation of people with an average body size.
And I mean, dude, do your thing. Strive for representation of whatever, but I think it's a massive waste of time and you should just live your life. That's my personal opinion. I don't really care if, like, my swoop kind or whatever, like, I would be considered has good representation in society or bad. Personally, I don't really know nor care what could be considered represented to society in a positive means or having more representation. I think that it doesn't really matter. I think the concept of representation is kind of stupid. Like, I could complain and say that tomboys aren't represented well in society and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But who cares? Just live your life and do your thing. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I know it's more annoying on the basis of maybe weight or, you know, gender or, you know, race or something like that. I know a lot of people have those kinds of issues with social justice and they're concerned that they're not going to be represented and everything's all fucked. But I think it's all stupid and I think we should just live our lives and do our thing. And instead of complaining, we can just make our own movies, our own shows. I mean, the internet exists. You can just take a camera out, whip it out like this person's doing and just start talking to it. So what isn't being represented here? I just don't get it. Like, you're literally representing yourself right now. So anyways, my people, that's the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. What do you think? Am I being contradictive here, or am I just being stupid, or what? But, yeah, that's the video, so I hope y'all enjoyed, and tell me what you think. Anyways, it has been lovely. Slater.